The St. Louis Cardinals find their power stroke and blast the Red Sox in the first game of their weekend series. Plus, new City Connect uniforms got leaked, and they're kind of getting mixed reviews. They're not all bad, they're not all good, but we're going to talk about it today on Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Loop and a lifetime Cardinals fan. And I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter, X, at JD Sports Radio. You can follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. I want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, which is going to be kind of important when it comes to today's episode because there's some visual things that I want to show you. So make sure you come on by our YouTube area, like, subscribe, comment, interact with us, hit the notification button so you know when new episodes are posted. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode being brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. So Friday night was a great night at Busch Stadium, right? For a number of different reasons. There were a lot of cool things that happened on Friday night. First off, you had the historic Boston Red Sox in town, which is always nice. You had the return of Tyler Broneal at Busch Stadium. Crowd gave him a nice round of applause. They clapped for him when he was out there on defense. They gave him the standing O when he was at the plate. Good feels for everybody involved. Big crowd on hand on Friday night. The Cardinals announced their 2024 Hall of Fame class. The Cardinals offense made an appearance in a big way. We got some good news about Willson Contreras. Cardinals won, and the Cardinals City Connect uniforms got leaked. Now, this last one can be seen as, it can be good or bad, depending on how you feel about them. I'm not a fashion guy. You know, I try to stay up to date on what are the cool things to be wearing. But as far as the City Connect uniforms go, some people love them. Some people don't like them. Some people find them boring. Let's just start talking about them now. And on this YouTube channel. So again, I told you, if you're on YouTube, this is great because you get the visual aspect of this show. If you're not, then that sucks. If you're listening on the audio version, what you should do is head over to our Twitter X account, LO_Cardinals, and you can see the pictures I'm talking about there. But they weren't supposed to be on display until Monday. But as usual these days, things get leaked. And Friday night, we got to look at the highly anticipated new uniforms, the City Connect uniforms. And my feeling towards them are kind of on point with the way most people are saying that, you know, they're fine. There's nothing amazing about them or crazy unique about them, but at the same time, they don't suck. They're not weird. So let's go ahead and start with the jersey. I'm going to pull this up. Again, these are leaked photos. So if anything changes from now until the actual announcement, when they officially put them on display, I guess that could happen. They are subject to change because this is not official, but these are the leaked photos. So let's start with the jersey part of this. You know, I've always been a fan of the red top and the white bottoms that the team uses in spring training, even with opposing teams around the league, like the Angels, like the Reds, who will wear a red top and white bottoms for some home games. I just think it looks good. I think it makes the red pop. I think it's good. I like it a lot with the white pants. So for one, I'm glad that they didn't decide to get all wild and use like some neon stuff or use the black, which a lot of teams have decided to go to, where they got like a lot of black in their uniforms. That's not part of the Cardinal colors, so it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. Could they have spiked some navy blue in there? Yes. Could they have used maybe like some charcoal gray, which was somebody pointed that out. They were like, you know, wouldn't some charcoal gray have looked okay with some of this stuff? And I think so. I think that would have been okay. But I think we can all agree that the Cardinals, they're a conservative organization, so to see them stick with the basics really isn't all that shocking. On the front here, you've got the iconic birds on the bat, but instead of saying Cardinals or St. Louis, it says the Lou instead. And they describe this as a modern take on the traditional birds on the bat, showcases a familiar nickname for St. Louis made popular by STL native son Nelly. Now, since I've taken over the Locked On Cardinals podcast, I've routinely opened the show saying, from the Lou, born and raised in the Lou. And I did that just for fun. I just thought it was fun sounding. I never thought it would end up being a main part of a Cardinal uniform one day. So I guess yay to me for unknowingly being able to see into the future, I guess. On the left sleeve, I'm going to pull up the patch here for you on YouTube so you can see some of the smaller aspects of the uniform. On the left sleeve, you've got a patch that has the Gateway Arch and the fleur-de-lis, which some of you might not know what that is. And I'll be honest, I had to look it up. I mean, I recognized the fleur-de-lis. I didn't know what the meaning of it actually was. And here's the definition. It symbolizes both the French religious influence and history of St. Louis. Now, personally, I love this patch. I wish they had incorporated this more into the uniform because it does stand out. It is unique. I'm glad that it's a part of it. Would this have been something? Should that have been on, the main focus of the jersey in the front there? Some people want that. And I thought maybe they might do that, but at least it's on there. You knew it had to be. And then I just think the fleur-de-lis stands out. I think that's neat. We've got river pinstripes on the jersey that represents St. Louis's historic role as a river city, situated at the confluence of the Missouri and the mighty Mississippi. Inside the collar, you've got the year 1882, which is commemorating the official birth of the franchise. So that makes perfect sense. There is a website called uniwatch.com. And according to this website, there's also lower jersey lettering that'll be on here, which will be tucked into the pants. So it's not like you can see it anyway, but it'll say St. Louis Cardinals, and it'll be spelled out in the 1920, 1921 jersey font. Your pants are white. Let me bring those back up here for you with the picture of Nato, Newton, Goldie there. You can see there that the pants are white. You got the red belt. And then if you notice there on the side for Newt, you can see that there is a stripe that goes down the outside seam of the pants. So not bad. I got no problems with that. The ball cap, it's red with STL on it. Uniwatch again coming in on this says that the font used is from the 1920-1921 season. And I don't hate the hat. I'm not a huge fan of the hat, though. I don't know. It's just kind of STL and kind of block lettering there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it as much. It's just kind of plain to me. Some people say it looks like one of the Donald Trump hats. Like I've seen that online. I prefer the one that they're using in batting practice and during the post-game interviews, which if you're watching on YouTube, it's the hat I'm wearing right now, which is from, I believe the 40s is where this one is from. But I think that one looks cool. I would have loved to have seen this as part of their City Connect uniform with this particular hat instead. But not the case. Not the case. What I need from you is to let me know what you think in the comments section below. I did get a ton of feedback off of Twitter X, so I want to read some of these off for you of what actual Cardinal fans are saying about the uniforms. Like I said, not everybody's thrilled, but not everybody hates them either. Jason says, and maybe he's from Boston because he says, these are wicked fresh. Way better than I anticipated, and quite possibly the best City Connect uni out. Amelia says, I like them. The Cardinals have the best uni in sports. No need to change too much. I'm not a fan of those where you can't even tell who the team is. Glad the pants are white. Kevin says, jerseys are okay. Not great or bad. Hats suck. Really wish the arch was incorporated more. I thought they would. I thought that was going to be on the front. That it was going to be like the arch right here on the main chest plate. Salvador says, I like them. The pinstripes look cool, which it's hard to see in the pictures. And it looks like that, because it's not going to be just one color. So the color and then the river pinstripes are going to be a little bit like the shade's going to be a little bit different. So you're going to have to be up close to actually see that. You can't tell in these pictures what they're going to look like. But Salvador says he likes the pinstripes. We never wore the old Red Spring uniforms in regular season games, so it will be good to have a red option. I like the patch on the sleeve too. They also kept it traditional. Some of the feedback, I don't want to say negative, but some people wanted them to incorporate Brick City into it, which is part of St. Louis tradition. Some wanted more arch, like Salvador did here. I think it was Salvador who said that. No, it was Kevin. Kevin said that. Kevin wanted the arch more, but there was a lot of people who said that. Some think it's too much like the spring training stuff we've already had, so what's the big deal? Some people hate the phrase the loo because when you spell it, not L-O-U, but L-O-O, that's the British name for a toilet, the loo. So people are pointing that out as they think that's kind of embarrassing. Many think that the team was too safe with their choices, but better safe than sorry. People are going to buy these. People are going to buy these. They're not so outlandish that people will be uncomfortable to have them. They're not so boring that nobody will want them. So it makes sense. People are going to buy them, and that's kind of the point. So I think we can all agree that we don't care what they look like as long as they're winning while they wear them. And winning was something they did on Friday night. So we'll discuss the 4 home run performance, this offensive outburst that took place on Friday. That's coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Now, supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products, and you can do it online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. So, new house that I'm in right now had some plumbing stuff we had to get done. I don't know much about plumbing. That's just not my forte. So when I need parts and stuff, this is the perfect website, supplyhouse.com, to get what you need to get the job done right. You can shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, they got you. Expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and you get to talk to a real person every single time. I know you're fed up with having to talk to computers and robots and AI or whoever it is that's answering the phones, and then you got to figure out the number to press on the phone to get to the person to finally get to a human at some point. It's annoying. Doesn't happen here. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. So join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day and have to turn down the volume because they keep shouting at you? Well, make the switch to Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel, and it's programmed for you every single day to bring you the biggest stories without all of the annoying screaming. It brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, and it's streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Remember, you can catch every pitch of the Cardinals' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Cardinals. And thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on Twitter X anytime you want. That feedback always welcome and encouraged. Cardinals offense. I mean, is there anything to complain about on Friday night? Not really. It's been a problem all year. I know that. You know that. Every now and then we catch little glimpses of what we thought this offense was going to be this year as opposed to what it has looked like for most of the season. And Friday night was one of those nights where we finally saw the offense lead the way to a victory. Doesn't happen often, hasn't happened often. We hope it gets better and continues to go this way. They've been hitting the ball pretty well recently. We're talking about double-digit hits again, 10 runs, 14 hits, 7 players drove in at least 1 run. They scored in 7 of the 8 innings in which they batted and hit a season-high 4 home runs. And God, was it fun to watch. Like, that was a fun baseball game to watch. I get into discussions all the time with friends and family members and just people over what type of baseball games they like to watch. There are folks out there that genuinely enjoy a 1-0, 2-1 pitcher's duel. My father was one of those kind of guys, loved pitcher's duels. Some people enjoy the 4-3, 5-4 type of game, which I normally prefer. That's where I like to have a little bit of offense for everybody involved and just to have a fun, entertaining game. I don't like the pitchers duels unless it's like a playoff game where it means a whole lot more. But a pitchers duel in the regular season is just boring to me. Like it just, I don't like seeing all the zeros up there. It's not a lot of fun. But I tell you what, Friday night, it was nice to see them just kind of open up a can of whoop ass on someone finally. It wasn't like this the whole game. Cardinals took the lead early. Boston would answer. Cardinals would score again. Boston would come back and forth they went. Then in the fourth inning, Alec Burleson got into one, hit a solo shot, 5th of the season. Goldie gets the RBI single in the 5th with 2 outs. Mason Wynn breaks it open with the in the 6th inning with the 2-run shot, makes it 7-3. Sox were able to get 2 more and bring it to 7-5, but the Cardinals answered right back with 2 more in the bottom of the 7th on RBI singles by Alec Burleson, who's just hitting everything right now, and Ivan Herrera. So the Cardinals go on to win this one by the score of 10-6. You get the 4 home runs, season high, and you get it from the youngsters too. It's not, relying on Goldie and Arenado and, normally Willson Contreras to put the ball over the wall. No, it was Newt and Gorman and Burley and Wynn, which is just great to see because you hear a lot of people complaining about why can't the young Cardinal hitters, why aren't they developing? Why aren't they hitting at the major league level? And it was nice to see 4 of those guys do very, very well last night. Your vets, Goldie and Nato, they weren't silent. They combined to go 5 for 9 with 2 RBIs. Michael Ciani, you're a lone ranger in this one going hitless, but that's okay. He's there for defense anyways. Anything you get offensively from him is just a bonus anyhow. This was only the 4th time in the entire season so far that the Cardinals have hit 2 home runs in a game with at least 1 runner on base. They've been doing a lot of damage. His solo shots, 9 of their previous 10 home runs had been hit with nobody on. Kyle Gibson on the mound, he wasn't super sharp. We've seen him better than this already this year. You know that. But he still gave you 6 innings. He still gave you 6 innings and picked up the win. Were they the cleanest 6 innings ever? No, they were not. Is he better than that? Yeah, most of the time. But he was still able to power his way through 6 innings. He's completed at least 5 innings in 9 straight appearances, becoming the first pitcher to do so in his first season in St. Louis since Edwin Jackson in 2011. Remember that guy? 2 of the runs that were charged to Gibson, they actually come against JoJo Romero when JoJo was on the mound in the 7th inning. And normally JoJo is really good at shutting things down. After Gibson allowed the first 2 batters of the inning to reach before he was pulled from the game, JoJo comes in, and according to Rob Raines at STLSportsPage.com, Romero had previously allowed only 1 of 7 inherited runners to score this season. So he'd been really, really good up to this point. So those runs end up scoring. So Gibson ends up giving up 5. But again, he gave you the innings that you wanted. And he was able to eat, and he was able to save you bringing in your bullpen even earlier and wasting some innings on them. So I'm not going to nitpick today. Like, it's a win. It was a fun win. It's the type of win that we thought we were going to see a lot more of this season, where it was based off the offense, scoring a lot of runs in the pitching, doing just enough to not allow Boston to get back into the game. That's what we thought we were going to see a lot more of this year, and maybe we will. Maybe we will. But at least for one night, it was cool to see the offense picking on someone else instead of it being the other way around where somebody else is picking on our offense. So that was good to see. Cardinals Hall of Fame class of 2024 also got announced on Friday night. Plus, great news on Willson Contreras. We got all that coming up for you next on Locked On Cardinals. It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Again, $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more with any winning $5 bet. It could be the simplest thing in the world. Like today, Yankees and White Sox are on right now. Yankees probably going to win, right? You could have bet on that with $5, and then you get $150 in bonus bets to go use on whatever you want. Speaking of other sports, the Boston Celtics on to the next round. Going to be facing the winner of the Pacers and Knicks series in the East. They're going to a Game 7, which is always fun. Over in the West, you've got Dallas up 3-2 on the Oklahoma City Thunder, while the defending champion Nuggets are tied up 3-3 with the Minnesota Timberwolves. A lot of fun stuff going on in the NBA. Over in the NHL, tons of stars to choose from still. When it comes to bets, you got the this is going to be a hell of a series. Panthers and Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Vancouver leads Edmonton 3-2. The winner of that series will take on the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Finals. So many ways to win. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the Free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. You can find Locked On Sports Today now available on the Free Fire TV channels app. So the Cardinals Hall of Fame class of 2024 was announced on Friday, and it includes pitcher Matt Morris, legendary pitching coach Dave Duncan, who, big fan of, and third baseman Whitey Kurowski. Morris, Duncan, and Kurowski make up what is the 11th induction class for the Cardinals Hall of Fame since the inaugural class back in 2014. An enshrinement ceremony is going to be held at Ballpark Village adjacent to Busch Stadium 3 during the Cardinals Hall of Fame weekend on September the 7th. Morris, who is tied for 11th in franchise history in pitching wins, emerged as the winner from a ballot that included Cardinals legends Steve Carlton, George Hendrick, and Edgar Renteria. I would assume all of them are going to get in at some point. My vote went to Edgar Renteria. I get why everybody likes Matt Morris. Edgar, just underrated, man. You guys, it shocks me how many people just don't consider him as great as he actually was while wearing that Cardinal uniform. And that's fine. I think eventually you'll figure it out. But Morris was chosen by the fan vote over an 8-week voting period. During his 8 seasons with the Cardinals, Morris compiled a .620 winning percentage, which ranks 4th in franchise history among pitchers with at least 1,000 innings. The right-hander's best season came in 2001 when he went 22-8, earned the first of back-to-back All-Star game appearances, and finished 3rd in NL Cy Young Award voting. So Matt Morris was great. Like, I'm not saying he's not. Edgar Renteria was part of some special teams. So Kurowski, a World Series winner with the Cardinals in 1942, 44, and 46, was picked by the Cardinals Red Ribbon Committee, which is a group of 13 St. Louis baseball experts via a secret ballot process. The club's starting third baseman during those 1940s dynasty never played on a team that finished lower than second place. How about that? 3-time World Series champion, played the 4th most games in franchise history at the hot corner, and was named the National League All-Star in 5 consecutive seasons from 1943 to 1947. And then we get to Dave Duncan, the pitching coach on the Cardinals teams that won the World Series in 2006 and 2011. Organizational selection, looking to honor an important figure in St. Louis baseball history. I mean, well-deserved. Worked alongside Hall of Fame manager Tony La Russa. He was the Cardinals pitching coach for 16 seasons. The pitching staff ranked in the top half of the NL and ERA during 12 of those years. He mentored 4 Cardinals 20-game winners, including 2005 NL Cy Young Award winner Chris Carpenter, my favorite Cardinals pitcher of all time since I've been alive. I mean, Bob Gibson was amazing, I know, but I loved Chris Carpenter. Anyway, the Cardinals made the playoffs 9 times while Duncan was on the staff. 9 times. He's a man that I feel like we took for granted how important he was and how good he was while he was with the team. And boy, do we wish we had his magic with veteran pitchers still at our disposal. Because remember, you could bring in almost anybody. You bring in some broken down 8-year vet, hasn't had a good season in like 3 or 4 years, and Dave Duncan would figure out how to make him good again. Kent Bottenfield, guys like that, and he would just do something. He would figure it out. There would be something that he would tip off to him, and all of a sudden you're talking about a 15-game winner, and he would do it year after year after year. It was incredible. So congratulations to all of them. And finally, let's wrap things up with some fantastic injury news on Willson Contreras. Had surgery last week to repair the fracture in the ulnar bone of his left forearm. Was at the clubhouse yesterday on Friday, wearing just a small plastic cover over the incision area from the surgery. Said the protective cast over his left forearm was removed just a few days after surgery. And he noted that he is hopeful, not guaranteeing, but he's hopeful that he could return before the break, before the All-Star game in mid-July, which a lot of people thought he was at least going to be out till the All-Star break, if not longer. And apparently he's healing really, really well. already resumed conditioning drills and is hopeful the doctors will soon allow him to swing at pitches using only his right arm in hand. But that's great to hear. That's great to hear that Willson is doing well. He's healing properly. Surgery went well. Herrera has been great without him. I mean, he's been able to hold his own offensively in Wilson's absence, hitting a team-high 286 now after going 2 for 4 on Friday. 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, does all of that in 91 at-bats. But having Willson around, having Willson's bat around, his arm, because we know he's much better at throwing runners out, trying to steal than Ivan Herrera is, at least so far. So, but it's great to hear that he's on the mend and could be back sooner than we thought. Michaelis and Crawford are your pitchers on Saturday. The boys will get to wear the cream-colored uniforms for the first time this season. Apparently, the uniform people finally got it done. Way to go, Nike. Finally, it is the middle of May, and you finally got those ready. So hopefully that means the Victory Blues will be around the corner here real soon, too. Then on Sunday afternoon, Matthew Liberatore against Nick Pivetta. So hopefully we get a series win tonight. Trying to take 2 out of 3. Hey, maybe they get the sweep. Who knows? Who knows? But riding high after a great offensive showing on Friday. Thank you guys for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on Twitter X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. Like and subscribe on YouTube. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason, and I will see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.